Hi everyone, my name is Brandon. Welcome to my channel. So you're here, I guess, to see about my DCP/CEP story so far. So I'll start with a little bit who I am. So I'm a university student up here in Canada. I'm studying Bachelor of Science. I don't have a major minor yet. I'm trying to get myself open so I can do whatever I feel like for now. For jobs, I've worked as cashier in a grocery store. I've worked at a lot of hockey rinks. So right now I work in an NHL hockey team in their hockey rink. So it's kind of like a dream come true for me, but it's a very technical job and I love it. It's very hands-on. Yeah, so that's kind of my job stuff. It's been basically just cashier rinks, and I also volunteer as ski patroller in a couple of mountain hills around here, mountain resorts around here, which also is a very, very fun and rewarding job. Well, how I got to the steps I'm at this place I'm now with Disney is like any kid growing up in the late '90s, the Disney Renaissance. I grew up watching all the cartoons and the animated movies and loved them all. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of moved away from that aspect of Disney to more of the parks aspect of Disney, but I'll explain a little bit of that later. My first kind of intro into the parks was our neighbors went to Disney 2004 Disneyland, and they got the vacation planning VHS. And if you don't know what that is, like a little kind of rundown of what the parks are of each resort inside Disneyland. So it goes different parks, different hotels. I believe someone digitalized it, put it on YouTube, so I'll put a link in the description down below. It's a really kind of cool nostalgia look at Disneyland way back in the day, in California, back in the day before it had this transformation. Yeah, so that was kind of my first intro, and I watched that video. They gave it to us before we went, and I fell in love with the parks. I was like, this is the coolest thing, I can't wait to go. So I went to Disneyland in 2005, and I was 9 years old at the time, so you can do some math on how old I am now. If you like it, put in the comments if you're bored. Yeah, it was the first trip, and I was hooked. I was just, everything I was looking at was just like, this is so cool. This is amazing. How could they do this? And so I got to go to Disney World in 2007 and 2008, and then with my family as well for that trip. And then I got to go with my band when I was in grade 8. My band took a trip with Disney Performing Arts down to Disneyland again, and that was awesome. It was nothing like, being Disney. There was family's fun, but going with your best friends was an awesome trip. It was super, super cool. And so it was like only 2 days in the parks. We got to do a bunch of different stuff. So we got to do we met with one of the composers for Disney, as well, and one of the conductors. And so he took us and we did like some music. I believe we did Aladdin. So we did like the I Can Show You the World song. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure that's what it is. Did that, so we got to play that fishy music. We also got to go with a whole bunch of other bands that were from Canada. We kind of all came together, had a big dinner, and then all played one song together. We all been learning. So yeah, it was really, really cool, really fun, awesome trip. Performing at Disney Performing Arts is incredible, and it's an awesome bonding time. And then I got to Disney Cruise in 2011. I did a Disney Fantasy on a 7-night Caribbean cruise, and that was really, really fun. I would highly recommend the cruises. I'm not a huge cruise boat person, like I don't do well in the water, but I was totally fine. It was awesome. It was included. I ate so much food, so good. We also did a day in Disneyland, Disney World before and after the cruise, so we got to do Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which was really cool. I highly recommend that as an after-hours event. I highly recommend those because they're a little bit expensive, but you get like no lines in anything, so it's really cool. And then in 2017, me and my little brother took a trip down on the train on Amtrak and Via Rail here in Canada and Amtrak in the States, down to California, and did like a whole kind of tour around LA. We did Disneyland, did Universal. That was really cool. It was a fun trip, just me and him, and we got along pretty well. So it was a really cool way of getting, we weren't focusing as much on the going on the little kids rides and the shows, if you will, Disney. We were hitting, the big stuff. So we were hitting Radio Springs Racers, Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, Mission Breakout, not the coaster, the drop tower. You hit kind of all the stuff. So we were really, really efficient with our time too. We weren't like going around looking at things. We just okay, we've been here before. We know we're going to go on, and it was really cool to kind of be like super efficient. At one point, I think we had 5 fast passes for all in the same hour because people had been going getting Radio Springs fast passes and Guardians of the Galaxy fast passes. So there was a bunch of fast passes that were like for at the exact same time you get it. So at one point we had 5 fast passes. We just hit them in a row back to back to back without any wait. It was really cool. So yeah, that's my last trip. How I was introduced to the program, I was actually in the Canada Pavilion in Epcot. I met one of the workers down there who's from Canada because that's the cultural representative program down there. And I kind of got chatting with him like, how'd you get in the job here? And he told me about the program. And so I said, okay, I'll look it up. And I found the cultural exchange program side, which is basically the Disney College program side, but just more for international students. It's kind of the same idea though. It's like we can't like extend our programs and like that. But same idea sort of. Yeah, so I thought, okay, I'm going to university. I'm going to apply for it. So I finished my first year of university and applied like that fall, so for my first summer off university, and got rejected pretty quick. And I was like, it's pretty shady, but it is what it is. I'll try again. So my second time, I tried again, same time again next year. I applied, and this time I went to like my school's career counselor. University had like you have like resume stuff with you, so I went over them and got them to look at it, and she'd helped a couple people get into professional internships with Disney. So I was like, okay, maybe she's got some insight. And my resume looked way better. My cover looked way better. I was like, okay, I got it this time. And this time again, I got rejected. So I was feeling pretty disheartened by it, and I thought, I should try again. Like, it's worth it. And I was like, what? Screw it. This takes me 20 minutes, and I'll go do it. So I joined the Facebook group the year before. So I joined this year's Facebook group as well. Again, thinking, okay, I'll ask the alumni for any help, if anything. Take a look at my resume, a couple of any changes you think I should make. And they came back, gave a couple of them gave me a bunch of different revisions to it, and it looked awesome. I was so appreciative. So thank you to those two, Lauren and Nina helped me with that. It was awesome. Thank you very much for that. So then I applied again, and it opened up September 25th of 2018, and I applied on October 1st of 2018. I got everything ready to go and had it in, and then I didn't hear anything. I was like, okay, months been gone by. I haven't gotten immediately not a long consideration, so that's a good sign. And November 4th of 2018, I got changed to in-consideration. Now, it's a very weird one. I don't know if anyone knows what it means, and it really is, I think, it's just kind of like they pre-screen some of the people that applied really early and just go over them quickly, like, okay, this one looks good, we'll put it through and, we'll take a look at it later. That's kind of what I thought it was, but people still got nixed on being that too, so who knows? And I was kind of just like, all right, well, that's a good sign, I guess. And then it was December 5th of last year, we all heard back, and I got an interview. So I was super, super excited. It's like, okay, it's a good step. You get the interview, just gotta nail the interview, and I'll be good. And yeah, so I booked my interview for Vancouver in January 31st. We had the very last interview date. They had 5 interview dates, I believe. 2 in Toronto, 1 in Montreal, 1 in Quebec City, and 1 in Vancouver. I believe that's what it is. So yeah, we had the very last interview date. So everyone else was kind of like a week before us, and we had like a 4 or 5 day break before Vancouver ones. So I flew down the day before with another girl that I met who's also applied for it. She was also going to interview. She's from around here too, so we flew down together. It was in the Sutton Place Hotel in downtown Vancouver. It was a very nice hotel. So I stayed there, just easier. I don't have to walk and figure my stuff out. So I stayed there. We had interviews in the morning. We had a presentation first in the morning, and then the interviews afterwards. So I was the very first interview slot because I was flying out pretty early in the day. I think I flew out at 3, so I was like, okay, the first interview slot was 11 to 12. I'll get out of there and be at the airport by like 1 and be on the plane. We're good to go. I also have Nexus, so that kind of makes life a lot easier in the airports. So yeah, so then we went to the presentation, came downstairs. The dress code was business casual, it was. But I had just dress pants, dress shirt, and a tie. A couple of other guys I saw had same idea, but a vest also, or a suit jacket. I just thought, I'll keep it a little more, less casual, less businessy, I guess, for the tie. I don't think it really matters for the guys. The guys is pretty basic, just dress pants, shirt, and a tie. You want to throw on a coat or a jacket. Wow, let's go ahead. Yeah, the presentation was really cool. It was kind of a more in-depth look at the program. It felt very much, I know a couple of people said this too, it felt very much like it was like a welcome to the program thing more so than, here's what you're applying for. If that makes any sense, but it felt like it was more like, welcome to the program, here's what you'll be doing, here's all the stuff you can do, here's like your pay rates, all that, all the housing stuff, all that, here's the role. So it felt very much like, okay, if I don't screw this interview up, I should have this job. So yeah, and then we had some trivia. I won a little bag tag for answering the question of what are the 3 modes of transportation in the parks. If you know it, put it down below. Bonus if you can get the newest one that's not quite open yet, but if you get that one, it's a quote-unquote bonus. Hey, congratulations. I don't have anything to give you, but you get your own satisfaction getting it right. Yeah, so then we had the presentation, finished that up. It was Sue and Sarah doing presentations. Sue was the head of the international program, I believe, and Sarah was, I believe, manager of communications for the Walt Disney World Resort. I believe that was her title, but I have to ask one alumni to make sure to correct me, but I think that's what it was. Both very nice people. I always thought like Sue was going to be very scary, but she was very wonderful, very nice. So yeah, then we all left the room after the presentation was done about 10:30. So it was like 9 to 10:30ish was presentation. We all got out of the room. They set up like for the interview stuff. I went back upstairs to my room, brushed my teeth again, did my hair again. It's not very hard to do, but I'll touch it up again. Came back downstairs, and there was about eight of us in that time slot, and I had my watch on me, so I timed it, each person's interview, and everyone pretty much averaged out to about 14 minutes is what it ended up being for us, which apparently is longer than usual. Most people are pretty short, but I was like everyone was consistently across the board 14 minutes. So then with the two of them, they got us all done in the hour. We thought they were going alphabetical order. It started off that way because we all like asked what everyone on the roles want, and then what's your last name, so we can go figure this out. It started off going alphabetical order, and then it didn't. So that's really weird. Then it came back to it. So I was asked. I was actually just supposed to be the last one, and was the last one. So I'd asked everyone before, what did you get asked? Some of the questions that they got asked, like specific ones, not like kind of the general, why do you want to work at Disney, but like the specific ones were, if they put attractions, they got asked, if your child come to your attraction that's too short and you just make the height measurement, how would you handle that? Or if you have someone that comes in and scans in the FastPass, they don't have FastPass driver, but they're scanning a FastPass kiosk, like how would you handle that? So I was like, okay, put in my head, I know that question. And the merch questions for people who had got merch, who I wanted merch for questions like, if someone's code declines, how do you handle that? Or if you don't have the size someone wants, how would you handle that? So okay, those are fairly easy questions. I can figure something out. So I'm kind of in my head going, okay, what would I say to that answer? And so then I get called in last, and I go in. I had Sarah. She was very wonderful. I was super, super nervous, and she made me feel super comfortable, and it was very nice. So thank you, Sarah, for that. It was an awesome interview. Best one I've ever had, comfort-wise anyway. And so we sit down, and she says, I have your resume and your cover letter in front of me. I just want you to kind of explain each position. So I went through each position on there, kind of told her what it was, kind of how it would relate to Disney and more so attractions, because my jobs really don't equate one-to-one on really anything. Like they're mostly based for attraction stuff. If you want anything closest to it, besides like ski patrol would be good for lifeguard, I guess. But otherwise, and my main jobs have been kind of more mechanical and systems based, so attractions. So yeah, I kind of explained all my jobs to her, and she says, why do you want to work for Disney? And I said, a lot of people, everyone here wants to work for Disney. We all do. We all love Disney. It's why we're here. But I love the magic of Disney, but I also love the ingenuity and the imagination of Disney. The Disney Imagineering has created some incredible attractions, some incredible shows, some incredible atmospheres in the parks, and I love that aspect of it. I love how, and I want to learn about that too, is how Disney can create these attractions, and just pull you away from regular life and bury you into that story, and you just you fall into that story, and you kind of figure out the rest of the world. And that's really why I love it so much, is because it's incredible what they can do. So I was really good answer. So then she kind of asked what attractions, what roles I'd be interested in, and I had attractions on my first 4 attractions, lifeguard, and character performer as my top. We know there was one character performer spot open. It was for the men. There was one character spot. It was for Goofy. He had to be over 6'2" or 6 foot. Yeah, which I was good for because I'm 6'2". So just at the height, I think it was 6 to 6'6" to 6'2" was the height for Goofy. So I was just there. And I played my school at a book fair way back when I was in elementary and junior high, and for the couple of years in a row, I would be Clifford the dog every year. We had a big costume, and so I was kind of like, I got some sort of background, but I don't have any theater background. I believe the guy who got the job, I think he had some pretty good strong theater background all the way through, and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, that makes sense why he got it and I didn't, because I don't have a theater background. So that was mine. And then I also had character attendant on there, but that wasn't available for the new people this year. It was only for attorneys, so that got pushed off the side, I guess. And she asked for 2 more roles that I'd be interested in, just kind of round out the bottom spot, kind of like my last choice ones. So I put merch on there because I've done cashier in a grocery store and personal stock shopper in a grocery store. I can pick stuff and whatever. Plus, also you get the most hours of merch, as far as I know, because you can go to a whole bunch of the stores. You can work anywhere in the parks, really. Once you do one merch, you can do them all right here, store-wise anyway. And then I also put a janitorial on there because my arena jobs and my everything jobs I've always cleaned and I don't mind it. So it's okay, I like to do that. Plus, as far as I know, from what I've heard, you get the most guest interaction on custodial. So it's good. That'll be cool. I can do that. So I put that on there too. But I had attractions, lifeguard, and character form was my top 3. In really any order, I didn't care which one I got of those 3. So yeah, so then she asked the question, I'm expecting the next question to be like, okay, an attraction-based one, so how would you handle, I guess, being too short for the ride? And I was like, okay, I know how to answer this one, it's good. But no, she asked me, why is safety important? I was flabbergasted because that's just the most loaded question ever. And when I asked everyone else who was in the Vancouver interviews afterwards, like in our group chat, like, did anyone get that question? No one got it. And so I don't know why she asked it. Maybe because my background has been very much like working around big machines. Like I drive a Zamboni. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a pretty awesome machine. But I drive a Zamboni. I work around like massive air handling units. I work around in quite dangerous ammonia plants with ice plants. So like I guess that's maybe why she asked that. I don't know. Like no one had that question asked. So I was really caught off guard, and I had to kind of catch my breath for a second and go, okay, like, how am I going to answer this? So I took a second, and I said, my answer was basically, besides the whole legality and, personal injury side of safety, keeping everyone safe so there's no one get injured, there's also the appearance side of safety, because we see safe things every day in our lives. It's just naturally we don't think of safe things every day in our lives. Like you go through life and you don't notice the safe things. I guess I'll equate it to like if you are in a place where it smells the same. Like I can't smell much ammonia anymore because I work in ice plants. So where someone else might smell it a ton, I smell very little because it's the same level, the same, but they smell more because they're not used to it. So same thing as like people have been conditioned to see safety, and so we see it all the time. But it's kind of just like we just ignore it because it's always there. But when you see unsafe things, those stand out because they're against the norm. And so if you see something unsafe in a park, it pulls you away from the experience, and you kind of stop to go, well, that's not right. And so it ruins that experience for people. So, if the unsafety things are detrimental not also in the fact that they're dangerous and hazardous for people's well-being, but also the fact that they're dangerous and hazardous to the appearance you're trying to show and to the story you're trying to tell, because unsafe things will always pull you out. And we have there's a big mall in Alberta I've been to a couple times, and they have a roller coaster they call the Mindbender. It's a really, really cool coaster. It's a very intense coaster, very rough coaster, but it's very fun. And 3 people died on it back in the 80s. And now I don't question it anymore because it's a very, very safe coaster, and they check it like 3 times a day. It's very, very safe. But that still, ever since then, people have been wary of that ride because it had an accident and people died on it. So people it still holds that stigma. So if you have a theme park that's known as very unsafe and rickety, and it's a little sketchy, that stigma stays with you, and you don't want to tarnish reputation. And so safety is important because it's that story you're trying to tell. If you have unsafe things on your attraction, it ruins the story. And so that was a good answer, and I was like, okay, that was off the top of my head, like, I hope it's okay. And then she kind of asked basically the routine questions, like, are you okay living in dorms? Have you lived in dorms before? Which I haven't. But I thought, yeah, it's fine. I'm totally fine with that. Are you okay with pay? Yeah. You okay with working in the hours? Like, yeah, that's fine. I work night shifts. I work morning shifts now. Like, I work till 3 a.m. some days. I'm up at 5 a.m. for 4 a.m. for work. Like, my work schedule's all over the place, so I'm used to that. Yeah, and she asked, are you okay, having to possibly work more than 40 hours a week? I was like, yep, I'm used to that. I used to work 5/10s. Like, there's no problem. So that was pretty much it. It was just kind of going down the things to basically asking the same questions they'd asked in the application of, are you okay with this stuff? So that was kind of just my interview. It was fairly quick. It felt a lot quicker than it actually was. It didn't be 14 minutes. Mine was the same thing, but it felt a lot quicker than it didn't feel like 14 minutes. I got out and I was like, oh, I looked at watch. Like, that was long, but it didn't feel like that. It was good. It was a nice quick interview. So I went upstairs. After the interview, I went upstairs, talked to a couple people that were still sticking around. Came over that, and they're like, you got to ask that question? It's a little, it's a crazy question. It's, yeah, I know. So we went upstairs. I went upstairs back to my room, got my stuff all ready to go, checked out the hotel, went to the airport, came home. And now at the airport, if you go to the Vancouver airport, between terminals B and C, there's a walkway in the secure zone. And there's it's a pretty long, moving walkway. And there's someone's private collection of the Fab Five figurines. There's Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, Pluto and Daisy. So yeah, and they were all like old figurines, like way back, all the way to new stuff. And it's like just these long display cases of all these figurines. It was really cool. So I'll put a picture in, I guess now, of one of them. I think I have 2 pictures. I only have 2 pictures. I have a video of 2, but it's like me kind of running through them all really fast because it was a long thing, so it's not a very good video. But I'll put a picture in the other one here now. So it's really cool. And I was like, that's kind of maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it's a good sign. It's just that something's good's gonna happen. So we come home. I fly back home, and kind of was like, I got a little bit to wait. We had about, I think you could go back on the 10th. Now, for the first time ever, they were allowing Canadians to go to Disneyland. So that was an option this year. If you could say you want to go to Disneyland or Disney World. There's only 3 roles in Disneyland. There's shops, quick service cashier, and attractions. There's only 3 roles. As far as I know, in our group, only 6 people did the Disneyland roles. But we think it was kind of just like because Galaxy's Edge is opening, so they need more staff for that. But it's really so those people I was like, I think I want to have Disney World for my first experience. Maybe Disneyland next year, but Disney World, I want to have the first experience be in the heart of the college program. So the Disneyland people heard back on the Friday, and then all weekend we're waiting, like, okay, who's gonna hear it? And I get up on Monday at 8 a.m. for school, and I get a message on Facebook that some people had got their roles. Some rich people had got their roles, or got their acceptance letters. And so I was like, okay, maybe mine's coming. So I keep checking the chat, the Facebook group, my email, and the Disney website, the careers website. And about 10:30, I checked the careers website, and I get an offer letter. So I was like, okay, it's really cool. I look at my email, so I look at my email right away. Same thing, offer letter, and I was like, oh, I got accepted, sweet. But they didn't say what I got accepted for, what role. So I had to go back in again, read the actual full acceptance letter, because that was kind of just an email. Full acceptance letter, and I got attractions. So I was super excited because that was the role that I really wanted the most. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. I was kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be good. So I came upstairs, and I told my mom was upstairs with my little brother, and I told her, and I was like, hey, a couple people heard back from their roles this year. The most people heard back, and the girl I flew from Edmonton to Vancouver with, she had heard 2 as well. She's like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I got attractions. And she was just like completely flabbergasted. Oh my god. So yeah, it's really cool. So that's kind of where I am now. I accepted my offer right away, paid the program acceptance fee, which includes a housing fee for the first 2 weeks, I believe it is, the first week, as well as the programs fees for all the stuff that the dorm people or the housing people do for events and stuff like that. I think it's one of the things in that fee. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. We just got my visa 2 weeks ago now, so I paid my service fee, but I'll kind of go over that stuff in another video. It's kind of just my intro where I am. But as of today, day is it today? 17th of April. So I started May 13th. I'm going May 13th to August 8th. And so I guess less than a month away. I think 27 days away. So I'm leaving on May 2nd. I'm driving down to Florida from Alberta here. So it's going to be a long drive going to DC and then down on the train. Because when we went down on Amtrak, I really enjoyed that. I also recommend if you ever want to get a little extra time, has a little extra money, take the train in the States, take Amtrak in a both room, in a roomette or whatever it is. It's really awesome. It's a cool way to see the country. So yeah, so I'm going to be down in the 2nd. So I'll vlog the whole way down so you guys can see it. I'm going to be taking my skydiving course down in Lake Wales in Florida. So I'll get to see that, which will be pretty cool. It's a lot cheaper down in the States to get the course done there, and then I'll come back to Canada to finish my course up here. But the initial course is cheaper down in the States, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, I'm going to jump on a plane 2 days, and then next day be at Disney. It's going to be an awesome trip, and I'll get to show you guys along on the trip. So thanks for watching my channel. Hope you stick along for the ride, subscribe, and see you guys later.